First thing you need to do is oil your machine, and you're gonna remove the threads that comes with it. Unplug or turn off the machine. So what we're doing right now is we're gonna crank it up using our hands. I'm gonna crank it up. So the reason why you need to do this is to minimize any friction or listen to any friction that might happen. What you don't want is the needle hitting the plate. Look at the movement of the needle. It's going up and down, and that's what it's supposed to do. I lowered the lever. It's doing the same thing. So I'm gonna turn this machine on. I'm sewing with it with no thread, but it's still gonna move as it's supposed to do. I'm gonna lift up the lever. It's still gonna move like it's supposed to do. Even if I lift the lever up or down, it's still gonna sew. Just listen to the sound of the machine. That's all you need to pay attention right now. You're gonna have sounds when you're sewing, and a lot of people get additional stress when listening to the sound of the machine. So what you need to do is familiarize yourself with the sound of your machine. The more you listen to it, the more you will tune it out, ignore it, and the more you get confidence with your sewing projects. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to feed it with a fabric. Still no thread. I'm just going to sew on it. So because there's no thread, it's not stitching nothing, but the needle is poking holes on the actual fabric. If you have a magnifying glass, you'll see it. So the machine pushes the fabric forward as you stitch. And that's what its basic function is. If you have a machine that has an A, 0, 1, or a symbol, basic default stitch of most sewing machine is a straight stitch. And right now I'm on my A, so it's just straight stitching. When you're new to sewing and you have a project in mind, the project itself will grab most of your concentration. And that's additional stress on you, aside from the fact that you're actually sewing on a machine that you're also not familiar with. So if you're transitioning from a straight stitch to a zigzag stitch, if you notice that there's a movement change on the needle, see that? It's moving. Most sewing machine that's computerized will figure it out for you because it will actually tell you if you're using the wrong foot or not. Now, if you're using a manual machine, it's up to you to figure out what type of foot is appropriate for the stitch. The safest sewing foot is the all-purpose foot. So the point is you don't want to hit the needle with the wrong sewing foot. So just pay attention to that. There is a function to most basic sewing machine where this movement will go backward. One of the buttonhole function here that's supposed to be backwards. Watch. right now I'm going to thread this machine. You thread your machine too according to its instructions or manual. So let's listen to the sound of this machine as it stitches. Imagine you're walking on a wood plank floor. Just walking. Let's do this. So I'm going to switch to a zigzag. So there is a steady sound of the fabric because I'm using the same fabric and the same layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the layer and I'm going to fold it some more. There's going to be added pressure and penetration of the needle on your actual fabric. So you pay attention to that because that's when you're gonna break a needle if you just rev up. Did you hear the change in sound? And also, you slow down, you adapt, you work with your machine. Don't be like a diva. You have to work with your machine. You are still the operator. The machine is not the boss. You are. It's up to you to understand the machine. Even if you have a computerized machine, you're still the operator. So what I'm doing right now, I'm revving it up, but it's still slow because it's trying very hard to finish the task that I'm giving it. But it's supposed to be very fast once it's past this vinyl watch. See, it's faster when it has less fabric to penetrate, and it is slower if it has more work to do, and that means adding extra layers on your fabric or extra seam, extra bulk, extra anything. Now we're gonna test this machine with a saddle leather. I'm gonna slow down my acceleration because I'm helping the needle pierce the leather, and I'm not even changing the needle here. Let's see if I can do this. Did you hear the change in sound? Saddle leathers are very tough, but this machine was able to deliver the job. If I tried to do this on a double layer, it'll probably complain, but it did it. And there's a change in sound because it's a top job for this machine. Understand that your machine will be happy with certain fabrics, but be unhappy with certain fabrics also, like a leather. In the old days, a lot of machines do not have an advanced feed system, so you will struggle with sewing knits because it's a pain to do that. This machine is still backwards in many ways because it does not have any advanced feeding system. So here's the thing about learning to sew. You can start from many instructions on the internet right now. But if you're still struggling with it, start from the very basic. All machines are different in some way or the other. Different knobs, different dials, different functions, different attitude. Each machine had their own character and attitude. It's up to you, the owner, to understand the machine by familiarizing yourself with its movements, its sounds, its perks, its quirkiness, its capability. After all, you are still the master of this machine. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit in this video.